There's a big discussion in the Christian community about carnivorous activity. Was that part of the original creation? Is that something that's a result of the fall? And I think one way that we can get some insight into what the church has thought about that over history is to go look at the church fathers. One of them is Basil the Great. We're going to kind of look at some of the things he said. I know he's written quite a bit about creation. What's his background, or how would we look at what Basil had to say?
Yes. Well, he wrote a series of 9 sermons to be heard by his congregation in his city of Caesarea. 9 sermons called the Hexameron, on the 6 days of creation. And he digs deeply into Genesis 1 throughout this series of 9 sermons. Okay,
so this is part of, it's his spiritual leadership, priesthood type thing of ministering to the population.
Yeah.
He developed a series on Genesis, going through the 6 days of creation, the Hexameron, Hex 6, that sort of thing.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
What does Basil have to say about animals?
Yeah, there's quite a bit he talks about. He actually goes off and uses the Genesis account for a platform to talk about many different things on animals. But one thing in particular that's interesting is that it seems that he assumes that animals such as those that are carnivores were carnivores from the beginning.
Bears, lions, tigers,
yes,
those sorts of
yes.
things. Okay. Can you? I mean, what is there anything you can bring? What did he actually say? We can talk about what we think, but
right.
Let's look at what he actually had to say.
In his last sermon, in the 9th sermon, down in the 5th paragraph by some numberings, he says, "But let us return to the spectacle of creation. If you examine the members, even of animals, you will find that the Creator has given them nothing unnecessary, that He has omitted nothing that is necessary. To carnivorous animals, He has given pointed teeth, which their nature requires for their support."
That's interesting, because he's that as I am not the Basil scholar here, but that seems to be saying Basil's assuming that they were designed to be carnivores in the first place.
Yes.
That they weren't somehow converted to carnivorous activity later. Mm-hmm. That's the way God created them.
Right. Yeah, and there's even another quote later on down that supports even that idea that they weren't omnivores or herbivores at the beginning. So
they're built carnivorous. I find it interesting that when you read through Scripture, there are numerous places where God is praised for things that are related to carnivorous activity. Psalm 104:21 talks about how the lions roar after their prey and God seeking their food from God, or how God is more majestic than the mountains that are full of game. That if carnivorous activity is a result of the fall, it seems an odd way to praise the Creator. Basil seems to be indicating, and as I would argue the rest of Scripture, that carnivorous activity is part of the way God created this world.